Hey everybody, welcome back to Kingdom Hearts 3. This is episode 30 in which we are not doing the plot. I've loaded up a file of me completing the game, so this is the first non-blind video for the LP, where I'm just going to show you the optional content because I don't want to take a break from the main plot stuff. I feel like it continuously each day there being another nugget of greatness because holy shit, the end of this game. So I feel like it's only right that if we're going to cover this stuff, that we do it now, and then moving forward, episodes starting tomorrow with episode 31 will be plot stuff. And then after the finale is up, the next KH3 episode that'll go out is a bonus video showing off the super boss and the secret reports. So that's the plan, and we're going to begin with the Flantastic Seven. An optional set of minigames, similar to the Mushroom 13 from Kingdom Hearts 2. And how it works is you go on these boost pads, and you shield slide throughout Olympus, trying to hit as many Flan as possible to get a target score of 20,000 points. That is the score requirement for this one specifically to get the best reward. Because best rewards are kind of what you want. You want to get the best possible reward, and I think that will unlock you all the good stuff. I think that's how you end up getting one of the rewards that I'm forgetting at the moment and blanking on. Orichalcum Plus, I believe, is tied to getting the best scores on all of these, or it might solely be the Just need a moment. This controls like a PlayStation 2 minigame, i.e. bad. A lot of people throw this plays like a PlayStation 2 related thing out there where it's not due. This is where it's actually due. This controls like a living nightmare. Now, that being said, I'm probably not going to get 20,000 points on all of these because I would rather not spend a bunch of time here showing it when I've already done it. This is on a completed file. This is like I'm already coasting. I've already done what needed to be done. But that's how that minigame works. I'm gonna be honest, I do not have the patience to hit 20k on this thing. I've done it once. Your reward for it is the Flaniversary badge, which is a really good piece of equipment. Which I actually will show it here, just to give you a look at it. So, here it is. Grants a large boost in strength and magic, and has MP Hastera and MP Thrift. Now, I believe if we hit triangle, here we go. Recharge MP 20% faster when you run out, and you can stack it. And then Thrift decreases MP cost by 20%. Also, I have the Mickey Clasp, which in turn makes us broken, because it gives us MP Hastega, which is recharged 30% faster when you run out, and you can stack that. And Endless Magic, which disables combo rules for magic. So normally you'd be able to get like 4 or 5 casts of fire magic before you would have to do like one extra large one with some cooldown. Like, it functions the way physical combos work. Well, this just disables it. So already with these two things, MP is 20% cheaper. My MP recharge is 50% faster. And then combining it with something like Classic Tone that has MP Haste, my stuff is recharging 80% faster and is going to hit hard. And also the combos are endless, so you can just keep on going. And it doesn't end. The best example is probably fire, but just look at this. You also tack on to the fact you have like Magic Galvanizer that makes magic do more damage the longer in the combo it's been casted in. So the 6th fire is stronger than the 5th fire, and you also have like Magic Combo Thrift, which you can get, which makes it so each successive cast in a combo lowers his MP by 1 point, which then if you tack that on, you're just casting things for 1 MP. magic is the strongest way to play this game. Like, it's that people have opened it up, and it's very clear that if you want to finish this game, if you want to crush it, fire is incredibly broken, and the abilities and the tools that they give you by the end of the game, if you are thorough, just rip this thing wide open. So next up on our hit list here is the rest area of Galaxy Toys, where we're gonna take on another one of these. I like that. I've Yuzora looks so much like Riku. I have got to play this someday. Hashtag Veramix. It's great to record this because it's the only episode aside from the one that's coming after the finale that is going to be after I've beaten the game. All these other episodes are a part of the blind LP, so they're like my first reactions, which, oh man, you guys ain't ready for... You guys ain't ready for that. At the time of recording this, I finally have everything set to go and edited. It's some good stuff. But it means that I've kind of been able to see what the general reception of this game is, which is, I guess, kind of about what I expected. The game is finished and all done. I enjoy it quite a bit. So does pretty much every friend I typically talk to. A lot of the more hardcore Kingdom Hearts 2 fans think the game is bad because they don't know how game development works and thought a large post-game and 15 extra bosses was feasible on a AAA game with this short amount of dev time. But hey, that's just that thing. This specific minigame, by the way, which we showed in the LP in the past anyway, is we have to build a Tower of Flan. Now, you're free to explore the outside here to get some of these things, but after a while, you're going to want to go into the inside, because this inner circle has a higher ceiling, and the sides don't. So you'll find a problem where your tower can't get any higher on the outsides. So you have to stay in here to be able to lift it up. I think 18,000 is your target for this one. Not too sure on that, but we're pretty close here. I'm pretty good at this one, all things considered, because I know you don't need 20k on this. What I would like is if we could get some more of these to spawn. That would be ideal. But towards the end, the camera just becomes a bit of a nightmare to see any extras that we could pick up. But 21,000 is pretty good. In terms of minigames, I like this one a lot. I think this one's pretty good. I think it's pretty clear that I was gonna like this game, like, no matter, like, the state, I feel like, but it all comes down to how satisfying it would have been by the end, which you'll find out as things happen, because my opinions don't really change past what I say during the credits of this game, which, yes, I do talk a little bit during the credits. That said, you know, that'll be for later. I'm gonna start moving on, and I'm going to get us over here to these other Flans. I'm not going to show it on screen because I'm sure some of these loading screens will fucking spoil stuff because the damn Instagram thing. See you in a bit. All right, next up is the orange. Here in Kingdom of Corona, it's outside Rapunzel Tower, like right as you leave that little cave. So the premise of this one is to build 7 photos based on the various Flan in the area. And yeah, just trying to get the various photos of them doing something, you know, scandalous enough that it would give you a lot of points. So like these here, you want to get them when they're at the height of their flight and stuff like that. And there's a bunch of different ones. Like, for example,
let's see.
This one. I'm not kidding. This is happening right now. I only got a good on that one because I forgot how that one works. Some of them are a bit picky.
Let's see.
But this one, there we go. You get an excellent if you get it in the pose. I think the ones that are running, you have to wait for them to stop. But there are some really easy ones to get some points on that we'll go after. I believe the goal here is to like get like 21,000 or something. Something absurd.
Let's see.
There's one right here
Let's see.
that does a little pose. It's another baby one. The idea of them just having really small ones is kind of hilarious. Oh, gotta watch for these two. You only get one shot at this one.
Let's see.
Here they go.
Let's see.
They turn into a pancake. And then they're gone. Same with this one. Gotta wait for this one to pop out of the water. There we go. Alright, we got this one that's just running. This one's normal, so we don't really have to care about it much. But the one we need to focus on is the set of 5. So this one has an interesting mechanic where it wants you to be patient.
Let's see.
They try to do their pose, but one of them lagged behind. So they go back, they reconvene, and go, okay, this time we got it. But this one still was bad on the uptake. Alright, they gotta do it one more time. Perfect choreography. There we go. And since there's so many of them, you get a shit ton of points off that. Last one I think I'll get is one, just one of a Flan like flying. Because those are like the easiest ones to get, I think.
Yeah.
So let's go on over to this one.
Let's see.
Wait till it stops moving. There we go. And we matched my score from last time, which is like 6 excellence and 1 good. However, you get more points when they are special Flan, like if they're a smaller one, if there's like a special situation with them, or if it's like multiple. But that is the Blood Orange Flan, which probably could be one of the more annoying ones for people, but it's kind of just like learning the process of like what they do, which ones are the best ones, and it's patience. But once you get it down, it's pretty nice. For those wondering what are the rewards you get ingredients, of course. You get the specific fruit they have. You also get stuff like a form change extender, an attraction extender, and different unison abilities for Donald, so that if you're next to him, he'll do like Unison Blizzard or something like that, which is nice, getting different combo finishers. But overall, it's worth it to give it a try, and also, you know, making more foods, cuisines. So we're gonna move on to the next one, which I guess we'll do Monsters Inc. So the next Flan we need to get is, once you go to that big room with a shit ton of doors, you pick the one second from the left, and it brings you here. I can't believe I never noticed this lucky emblem when I was doing my proud level 1 streams. It was ridiculous. Like, look at that. Look at that. Anyway, this is the banana. Banana could be quite difficult. Oh, by the way, I have ultimate weapon, but, you know, that's besides the point. And a bunch of other Keyblades. Yeah, I think this is the right way to do this. So, the plan is to have a good set of magic here. Thundaga, definitely going to be a must. Elixir, too. I'm going to try and get as high a score as I can, because the premise here is that one giant Flan will try to eat you, and you got to kill the rest of them.
Back off. Yeah.
We'll see if I can get a good run here.
Back off. Thunder. Here we go.
Oh yeah, also here's ultimate weapon. Here's a look at it. It turns me pure white.
There.
I'll just do the finisher.
So long. Yeah.
I'm gonna pop an elixir and then link into King's Flare. This King's Flare gives you a lot of damage. I'll do the finisher immediately to maximize on all this stuff. He's trying to juke me. I'm not letting him. And here's the shot lock for ultimate weapon. A complete nuke. I'll take it. I got a high score. I could have gone further. I could have like mashed out Ultima Form, then immediately done the finisher to break through that 40k barrier. But that'll be acceptable. That is Banana. Banana can be pretty good if you have the options. As you can see, you just gotta juke him a little bit. Gotta show him what you got. So, with that done, we'll be heading to Arendelle, and I'll show you how to do the grape. Here we are at Arendelle, top of the North Mountain near the palace. All you got to do is jump down here, and you can immediately see it. In this secluded area, which I believe is where you fight Marshmallow, is our grape. Now this one, you also need the power of nuking the field, as it's destroy a bunch of Flan, but their magic is their version of Blizzard, so they're attempting to like corrupt the floor, so it's much harder for you to have a place to move around, because you'll be put into the flow motion animation, which I guess is a cute way to screw you over a little bit.
Take this. Nice. Back off. Back off.
Thankfully, if you have ways to restore your MP, you can get through this pretty quickly.
Back off. Try this.
Unfortunately, their health is pretty stacked.
There. It's over.
But it's all right. We'll try and make do here.
Take this.
Let's go for a nuke.
Yeah. Nice.
And another King's Flare ought to get us some damage here. Almost out of time. There we go. 44,000. You don't need that much. I think you need to just at least break 20k. And just like that, you get some grapes. Alright. That is the Flan for here. So at this point, we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have just 6 and 7 left. So I will see you in Port Royal, where we will take on what I believe is the melon. So here is where the watermelon is, at the Port Royal Fort, which I love because it's just the area from good old Kingdom Hearts 2. Not completely accurate, but this room definitely is. You get to play a game where you get to run around these areas, attack cannons to take out the invading Flans. A bonus rule is if you hit the big one in the back, it takes out all the other ones. Which kind of reminds me of like hitting certain things in like the spiked balls, I believe, in the Dream Drop Distance water barrel minigame. Kind of reminds me of that. But overall, this one's pretty simple. I think you need to hit like 20,000. It can become a little bit difficult if you forget how these things are lined up, because they aren't perfectly aligned with the cannons because of the angle. but it shouldn't be too bad. Though, later on they do put in a bunch of these things, and also ones that are positioned a little bit differently. There we go. That nailed a good one there. Here's the part where it gets hard, where they just say, fuck it, we're just going wherever we want. But 28,000 is more than enough to get full marks. I guess I never mentioned it, but you know if you got full credit if they hop up and down. They'll do their typical little clap if you did just okay, and they'll kind of look sad if you didn't make enough to even get the clap. Not to be confused with the other type of clap. Anyway, we have one more to do, and then we can move on to other things in the episode, so let's go to San Francisco. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go, guys. Sorry, I had a stroke. I was so excited to see this melon. The other was the watermelon. This one is the classic melon that you always had to prioritize in Yoshi's story. For the final of the Flantastic Seven, could potentially be the hardest one for certain people. Depends how good you are at reading depth, because you have to bounce off these flans. Once you've bounced off one, they're going to try and eat you because they're like, how dare you? So your goal is to continue to bounce on new ones. However, if you ever see one that's sparkling, you can jump on that one again, and it will send you to a different building. And the goal here is that you got to keep bouncing until you get a high score. They're asking for at least 15,000 on this one, which is pretty lax, but I think it makes sense. This one can, in general, just be a lot harder than the other ones. And the reason it can be a lot harder than the other ones will become apparent soon. I do find it funny that stuff like this is what you need to do to get the ultimate weapon in the game. It's almost like a tradition. I get to see a new set of people getting upset that they had to do this stuff to get the game's best weapon, and I'm like, that's the spirit of Kingdom Hearts, to be honest. Like, do everything. Do all of the random nonsense. Anyway, that's it. I'm not fucking doing it again. Because, no, I'm not. The thing that makes it so difficult is that if you, as you're going through it, you'll eventually start going into a dive animation, which makes it even harder to read depth on that, and you'll end up missing stuff. So it can be pretty difficult. I usually get it down pretty good, but that was one of the few times where I just ate shit. Now that that's done, let's talk about some of the optional Keyblades and other things you can obtain through the game. So, let's switch to the 3 optional Keyblades you obtain as you play, which are Grand Chef, which is here, Classic Tone, and Ultima Weapon. Ultima Weapon is obtained by getting 7 Orichalcum pluses, which are done throughout various things. Going to the postcard dispenser, like the mailbox in Twilight Town, and it's a random reward there. You can get one through, what is it? The Caribbean in Exile Isle. So you can pick one up there. You can pick one up in a late game world that we cannot discuss yet. You can pick up one for defeating a special boss that's kind of just a recolor in the Gummy Ship related stuff. There's one for the Flantastic Seven, and I'm starting to blank at some of these. I think there's one where it's like get every material for synthesis, and you get the point. It's the same stuff from Kingdom Hearts 2, where it's a mix of doing a little bit of everything throughout the game and rewarding you for doing the optional stuff, and that gives you the ultimate weapon. It can be pretty challenging to get, but once you do, you are rewarded, of course, with Ultimate Form, which is basically Final Form from KH2. It's really nice. Rewards you with some really good stats, some really good moves. It's reminiscent. It's Kingdom Hearts version of the Phantom Swords from Final Fantasy Versus 13, because that was a really good game that came out. I was very impressed with what Nomura pulled off in that game. Really big fan of Stella and the whole Versus epic. Now that we have all of the, now that I've shown off that, why don't we discuss the other Keyblade of note that is pretty interesting to get, which is going to be Grand Chef. To get this one, you need to make one of every dish in the game, which means going into that cuisine menu and working with Remy until you've made everything on the main menu and the special menu. This is just going to come down to you grinding a little bit, going to various areas, like 100 Acre Wood has plenty of ingredients like honey that you'll need. I recommend getting, I believe it's called the Gourmand's Ring, which they give you after you've gotten a 1-star bistro, so everyone's probably going to get that. It happens like after you make like 3 dishes, and it makes it so you can get excellence a lot easier. And it's really going to help you because you're going to want to get excellence on everything so you can just say you did it. I believe a trophy is attached to it, so I cared. If we can get into combat, I will show you some of the capabilities of this thing, since you've kind of seen what Ultimate Weapon can do. So, a good example. So, Grand Chef is a really good Keyblade because it does the frying pan form change, which is counter shield. It is counter shield, works the same way, so you block and you can get up to 2 levels of reprisal. The first is Flame Torrent, a blaze of fire, and then there's a second tier of it that I'm gonna try and get, if at all possible. Alright, we just need one more block. Help me out with that. And there it is. I didn't look at what it was called, but it does a lot of damage. And then the finisher. A nice slam of the pan. And then let's not forget the shot block. Instead of beams of light, it's the fruit crusher. And that is that Keyblade. I guess we can show off the other one, and we'll talk about how we unlock it after this fight, but the other Keyblade we want to talk about is Classic Tone. This is the most powerful magic Keyblade in the game, edging out Ultimate Weapon by 1 point, having 14 magic, but only 11 strength. On top of that, your MP restoration is going to be pretty high because this thing has 3 MP hastes attached to it once you fully upgrade it, which makes it incredibly good. But just like Grand Chef, it is a remake of another Keyblade transformation, but that's fine because it is a better version of it. Boom Hammer. It is just like Toy Story's Hyper Hammer, only just cooler. It has more fun animations, in my opinion. I just love the cranks and the gears that are on display with it. And just like the Hyper Hammer, it does have its own different version. The Clock Drill does a good amount of damage. Here is its finisher. And it is pretty nice. It has a really cool, like, classic Disney cartoon, like Steamboat Willie-esque, timeless river filter that goes on everything. And of course, let's quickly find one more fight so I can show off the shot lock for it. And then we can talk about what you do with unlocking. I guess I can describe how you unlock it anyway. You unlock it by getting the classic Kingdom games. Get all of them and complete all of them. Or at least how the game describes completing them, which means you gotta at least play them once. Where are these enemies? They must be up. Aha. So, here is the classic Tone shot lock. We take our classic cartoon form and just start going through a bunch of windows, just like we did in KH2. It's cool. I think this is probably one of my favorite Keyblades, and for my build, I am at my strongest when using it. Really, really like it. The other benefit for these is that they are in different categories. If I could tell you what I mean here. This puts you into different form stuff. So if we go into abilities and show here, Ultimate Weapon gives us Ultimate Form, which gives us stuff like our Teleport, Combo Master, Leaf Bracer, the stuff that keeps us alive, MP Hastera, Hidden Potential, so we get more strength and magic when battling strong enemies and stuff. There's a lot of stuff like that. But if we show the next list, Classic Tone gives us Guardian Form. We did not get Guardian Form when we were using Hyper Hammer. We got the attack one, which I believe is called Strike Form, which means that we get stuff like Second Chance Withstand Combo, which is good if you are in low-level runs, Defender, but I think most importantly, Barrier and Counter Blast. So it's a much better defensive form. And then Grand Chef gives you Blitz Form. Now, Blitz Form gives you Air Slides, Glide, Super Slides, Combo Master, HP, and MP Walker. This is the form, I believe, that turns your outfit green. And Blitz Form is just all about really good movement and keeping yourself, like, sustained through, like, running around and, you know, regenning HP and MP. Because the drive forms in this game are just categories that your form changes fall under. So, like, your clothes turned red, so you get access to these abilities. Like Strike Form, for example. The more attack-oriented one with the camo pants with Hyper Hammer and, like, the yo-yo form changes. That one allows you to hit the circle button mid-combo to activate finishers. It is not as snappy as Valor Form's auto finishers were in Kingdom Hearts 2, but for this game's speed, it works pretty well, especially if you just want to really nail them with endgame damage. So, moving on from that, I'd like to open up the Gummy phone here and navigate on through. As you can see, I've done everything. I'd like to navigate to Classic Kingdom, and here are all the games for it. You have to do all of them at least once, which a lot of these you'll see I have scores of 1s and 0s, because some of these don't really require you to do much. It's just game over, and then you'll get the Mickey emblem for completing it, which I approve because they locked a Keyblade behind it. I will play 2 games that I think are pretty good, that I just in general think are fun in this, but I'm not going to show all of them because they're kind of boring to watch. But one that I do like is Mickey Cuts Up, because I've played like a lot of Flash games of this type in the past. So the concept is you have to, you can't go over the same space more than once. And the goal is to just clear the entire screen. If you're wondering if the cat, like, makes you die or anything in this game, it doesn't. It's mainly there to harass you. So that when you, oh god, we finally were being challenged, it seems. The general premise is that if the cat's in your way, you can't move on that space. And you can also have blades of grass that are a bit thicker, which means that you have to go over them twice, which also adds to the challenge. Overall, I like these types of, like, puzzle games, I guess you could call. I guess this is a puzzle game in a way? I just know I like these types of games. I don't like them when I'm too stupid to figure them out, but hey, you know, words. I just said words out loud. Now let's take this from the top and think this through clearly. Look at my brilliant mind. Okay, that is all we need to see of this. Okay, Casey, you embarrassed yourself once again. One other game, there's a bunch of different ones, like pick up passengers with a taxi. There's deliver food to people. They'll show you like what they want. A mosquito one that's kind of like Space Invaders. And there's one where you actually use the Keyblade to take down an octopus. How to play baseball, which is pretty good, but it's a little bit on the slower side, so I won't show that. But what I will show, how to play golf. So you have different options. And I'll pick the 3-hole one. You line up your shot. Unfortunately, once you select something, you're locked in. I kind of wish it wasn't like that, but they're specifically trying to emulate these Tiger Electronic or Game & Watch style games. So I get what they were going for. And some of this is kind of luck-based, where sometimes I'll hit the ball like that and it'll just go in the hole automatically. But overall, these are fun time wasters. It's not something that's going to really... It's not something where you're going to sit down and do a bunch of these, but it's a really fun distraction, and I'm so glad they put stuff like this in here. Unfortunately, I'm going to go in the rough on that. Goofy's like, oh man, you fucked up. Why you gotta do that? Yeah, that brought us on the green. This is a par 4, though. Oh, this could be a problem, though. Man, this was a really big green. Alright, and then we have the last hole. Absolute perfection. Did you see that? Were you amazed? Should be amazed by this one. Weaving through the cows and the bulls. Albatross. Oh my god, that was I've never heard of an albatross. I'm gonna be honest. Is that better than an eagle? Well, how about that? We got a fucking -3 on the last one, giving us a score of -4. Par under 4. That's my new record now. Fucking albatross in here. You see this? We're the master of video games. We can do anything. We can do fucking anything. The other mini games on display in the game are things we've already kind of showed before, but I will show. Verum Rex is a copy-paste of what you did before, which isn't a bad thing, because, like, the Verum Rex game they did when you do it in the Toy Store World's great. They specifically want you to get a super high score to get a trophy in this game, which effectively makes it so you gotta, like, take down robots, and it starts up a chain score, and if you don't kill more enemies in time, the score resets. So what I end up having to do is keeping that chain going until like the last 10% of the game to get the trophy for that. But overall, that one's pretty challenging. And I think that's it for minigames, except for the Frozen one, which we will do really quickly. So the last minigame I want to show is one that actually does give you an Orichalcum Plus that I forgot about. It is the Frozen Slider game. So if you talk to Elsa, she'll set you up on it. And I've seen a lot of people say that this minigame is bad. It might be one of my favorite Kingdom Hearts minigames ever. Like, I really enjoy playing it. I play it casually sometimes. Where I'm like, I'm in the world. It's right here. Like, I think it's fun. Some people probably have problems with it because you need to get 10 treasures. And when you get all 10, you get the Orichalcum Plus. You can get them over different runs. So you can get like 2 on one run, 4 and 7 on another, and they all count. So I just used a video and got them in 10 minutes. But I don't think anyone's going to do that kind of thing legitly, because at that point it's just kind of busy work in a way. And it's like, maybe the Japanese people like doing busy work because they're really into like dungeon crawlers and stuff that is really rough. I'm not too into that. Generally, this is how it works. You get 1,000 points for every big cluster of purple crystals you pick up. And those raise your multiplier, which is to the right in the yellow text there. It raises your multiplier, so you get more points for each thing you collect. The multiplier will never go away unless you get hit by something. So don't bump into anything, and you can go for a long time. Another thing I didn't realize is that you could double jump while doing this thing, which is really good if you want to get to these higher areas. And overall, I think it controls pretty good. It's really, just really fun. I like Arendelle a lot as a world. I think part of it is because I thought Frozen was a pretty okay movie. Like, I really enjoyed it. But I also dodged most of the, I guess, excitement over that film because I just didn't engage with it. So I'd never even heard much of Let It Go before this game. So I guess that led to me liking everything about this a lot more. And I only watched the film, like, maybe 6 weeks before the game came out to get prepared. But overall, this whole thing is really fun. There's a good amount of challenge to this minigame. So you have to be careful, especially when you go into those cave interiors, which can lead to you getting into some bad situations with bumping into ice. But we are having a pretty good run here. The high score I have there of 781 was pretty hard for me to grind out. Where I just had to figure some stuff out. Get some big clumps. But here's this one. And this gives you an 8. Alright, man. Forgot this thing's pretty lax. There is a trophy tied to getting 600,000, which is totally doable. Totally doable. They also give you a piece of an accessory each time you do it, which is pretty nice. It's not a very good accessory, but it's a reward that is there for you. Now then, I have shown you quite a bit of this game over the past, like, hour of recording this. I don't think this is a comprehensive Let's Play this game at all, because its main purpose was to be a blind LP. But I wanted to try and make this episode kind of pick up the slack of stuff I haven't really shown you. So, we've seen all the Keyblades throughout the game. The only one you haven't really seen much is Starlight. It is a reskinned Kingdom Key. We get it later in the main game, or you get it automatically if you did the stuff in the Union Cross minigames. So there's that. There's not much else to say. It has its own unique finisher, which I think is cool, where it like shoots some beams down and like a lot of Keyblade stuff. But overall, it's nice. The only other thing I feel like showing is the one original gummy thing. So, without further ado, let's go check it out. In case he gets to find out if he needs to cut. We didn't get any, like, loading screens that are bad, so we can totally do this. So, what we'll do is we'll head to this here, embark from here. And here's some of the gummy ships we have access to. This right here is the Golden High Wind, which is the pretty much ultimate gummy ship in the game. I think I'll just show myself using it for this fight. You get it from beating the ultimate boss of it, and it's the gummy ship you're going to want to use to finish the whole thing up. But as an explanation for people who haven't played the game, I really recommend, just if you don't like the gummy ship stuff, but you want to kind of get into it, maybe you don't like the building. There's so many options for people who don't like the building. You can get specials. A bunch of different gummy ships that are pre-made, and even if their cost is higher than what you can afford, they're special gummy ships. They don't care. So you can get Necho Cat and Ghost Debaki and Kuma Panda from Dream Drop Distance. You can get a plush Sora. You can get a Gigas, Red Nocturne, Shooting Star, Sirius, and Vega are 3 really cool gummy ship rewards that you get from getting every secret blueprint. That is the pink crystals throughout the gummy maps. And then a lot of these are rewards either from completing and getting A ranks on various different gummy missions. I love Stationary Squadron so much. And other ones that are more references to Final Fantasy stuff like Airship. I think Airship counts in it, but there's like Omega, Bismarck, Ultros, Endymion, which is the main ship from Einhander. All of these are gotten by constellations. And those constellations, you just bust out your camera when you see a bunch of glowing white balls, position it to line up to make the shape, and you get another gummy thing. Of course, to unlock all the stuff, you need to go and hit the information menu and select gummy missions, and it should unlock from there, I believe. But that's a really good way to not have to engage with the ship building to get what you want. Though I would suggest using a guide on the best ship to use to fight the super boss of the gummy areas, which is called, I believe, the Schwarzgeist. To get to this guy, you must battle with a ship fast enough to brave the twister in the middle of the second gummy zone. And here it is, the Schwarzgeist, a boss straight from Einhander. Which Einhander, for those who don't know what that game is, it was a PlayStation title made by Squaresoft back in the day. The Osaka team at Square had made it back then. It was like 1998, maybe? And this boss was one of the bosses featured in it. This music, of course, a remix of that. However, if you use Endymion, which is the main ship from that game against it, it plays a retro, like, original version of this track instead of a remix, which is really cool. They show a lot of reference for this. While I absolutely do agree, it kind of sucks if they couldn't, like, give us, like, some slight mentions and some more scenes of just even cutscenes of showing, like, Leon, Cloud, or any of the Final Fantasy cameos. I do appreciate the Square reference that does exist within this game. Whether it's referencing the Final Fantasy characters that Hades used, the Cactuar, the multiple gummy ship stuff, and the references to Einhander, I think were really good. They got the team that worked on Einhander to work on the gummy ship stuff for this game, so it makes sense that they would just straight up make a super boss on it, remix an old track, bring back the main ship. It's cool. Upon beating it, you fight its core, basically, in a second phase. That fight seemed pretty easy. It's because this ship is completely broken. And I find that boss to be so hard, I can't talk and record it at the same time. So that's why you haven't been seeing me do this here. I ended up beating it by making an entire gummy ship that was just a large vertical set of blocks with 2 big engines on it and like 18 guns. And they were all cannon types and just focused on it. Overall, I think it's a really cool boss, and I do like the Square references here. It has me hopeful that they continue to reference other Square properties in Kingdom Hearts, and kind of make it not the combination, not the fusion of Final Fantasy and Disney, but the fusion of Square and Disney. And I'm not just saying stuff like, oh, they need to put Nier in there necessarily, but I like the idea of referencing stuff like maybe Xenogears and, you know, old and new Final Fantasy, and maybe references to Parasite Eve, and just I like little small references like that because they can totally fit as well depending on the thing you're using, and of course like the world ends with you and stuff like that. But this is the gummy stuff. I think the gummy ship in this game is absolutely incredible and immaculate. And I think one of the reasons why some people have found themselves more disappointed with aspects of Kingdom Hearts 3 is if something isn't exactly the way they want it, they have problems with it. Like, without saying anything about the story, I absolutely love where some of the stuff goes. And how a lot of things are brought together. And I know a lot of people don't like it. Some people don't like the gummy ship stuff. Some people don't like It just so happens that this game was built for me. And as a result, I like a lot of the things that they chose, the worlds that they picked, and the things that they did, and my expectations were at a certain level where this kind of just hit really, really well. The fact that the gummy ship is just so well realized here is just really great too. I mean, look, I'm level 99, and I've done every mission in the game, and A-ranked it. I've done every blueprint, I've 100%ed this game from top to bottom, which is pretty cool because I've had the game for less than a month. Anyway, I think this is going to do it. I showed off some of the minigame stuff. I've shown you what each of the optional Keyblades are, what they do. Showed you a little bit more of the Classic Kingdom, and we did the Flantastic Seven. I think with that all done, we're done with episode 30 of Kingdom Hearts 3. Next time, we will be thrown into what happens right after you beat the final Disney World, and it's going to be a non-stop run of plot for the next several episodes. One more warning about it. You'll notice that some episodes, I think, after the first good chunk, will start getting a little bit on the shorter side of like 20 to 22 minutes. I kind of wanted certain plot elements to kind of be their own episode and give them some time to breathe. So with that being in mind, we are not rushing through it and being big, long, hour-long episodes. We're letting this finale rock for a little bit. That being said, thank you so much for watching this episode. Thank you for supporting the series, and I will see you guys next time as things begin to get a little intense. See you next time.